Welcome, welcome, everyone. You found your way to the Sacred Wisdom Circle. Hello, hello. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are the light. Welcome. This is the Sacred Wisdom Circle, and we are all linked by golden thread, lighthouses, beacons of truth, guiding the way. Loving these deep conversations that we have and the shared wisdom that comes through. We are here to help illuminate the path and heal through truth. So thank you.
Yeah,
Well, welcome everybody. Hi.
welcome. And our audience is growing. We got more people watching our
Mhm.
videos. So we're so
Yay.
glad that it's rippling out and we
One
recognize it
step
takes time,
forward.
right?
It
Mhm.
take time. And we're coming up for a year. Lana, you know what date we are for a year.
No, not off the top of my head.
Well,
Soon.
we started in June.
Yeah, it should be shortly. We're talking about what we're gonna do for our 1 year anniversary of
Yeah.
something. So we'd love to
June.
hear if anybody has any ideas or topics or things that we'd love to cover, then we'd love to get your input.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask Chatty P.
Yep. Chatty P.
Teddy.
Before we jumped on, we were having a quick little chat about how things are shifting with ChatGPT as well as Chatty P, as well as Mr. Claude, right? So all kinds of things and people's interesting opinions about AI. Like I said, I saw it in a coach group where somebody's like, "Okay, we tired of the pictures, the ChatGPT provided pictures, but I don't know, I'm having so much fun with them. They're beautiful."
Yeah,
Not
they
that
are.
I don't wanna take away from graphic artists by any means. There's definitely time and a place for those as well, I feel, but
Yeah, for sure. And I do think sometimes the images aren't as clear as I would like them to be. They get a little grainy when you try to work with them, but definitely is helpful for especially
Mhm.
for the small business that, maybe isn't at the place yet to hire a graphic designer.
Mhm.
For sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely for sure.
Yeah.
So my inner child came up with something this week, which was quite interesting. You know how we all always talking about pivot and how we need to pivot? She
Mhm.
decided she doesn't like that word at all. She's going to pirouette instead of pivot.
Oh, I love that!
I love that too. Pirouette. What's pirouette?
Yeah, much nicer word than pivoting. We're going to pirouetting.
Ah,
So
Yeah, pivot's very again, when we in this space have continuously talked about language and the evolution of our current language and the words that we use. So I love the like it's definitely when you think about pivot, it's like first of all, the first thing that comes up in my brain is friends and pivoting in the couch. But beyond that, there's like that masculine energy around it, right? So I love this fun, light energy around pirouette. That's so
yeah,
cool. Thank you
yeah,
for
we go.
sharing.
So we've been pirouetting all week this week.
I love it. Oh my gosh. How playful is that? Like, that just makes you smile when you think about it. It just pulls you right into a whole different frequency there. So,
Mhm.
yeah. Is it working for you, Angela?
Oh, a week of pirouetting all week this week. I can't even begin to. I don't even know which end is up. Actually, it's been such a it's transformative, transcending. I don't know. I woke up on Monday morning and I was tapped on the shoulder. I'm going, stop doing what you're doing. Going, what do you mean stop doing what you're doing? I've been putting out workshops all year and social media to go with it. Nothing, nada, zip, nothing, 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 nothing. And so Monday morning, my higher power tapped me on my shoulder and goes, stop, just stop doing what you're doing. And you need to start focusing externally, focusing outwardly, and starting to look at bringing in people. Alana, you said something to me the other day that you were waiting with interest in terms of what's happening within the corporate space. Well, wish it all kind of landed this week. Um,
Ooh.
it's been doing things like putting a funding invitation. It's not a funding proposal; it's a funding invitation
Mhm.
to take us to the next level. There's been so something that's starting with not for profits and social leaders, a business circle, which is something that we're starting. That's come up. Then I don't even know what else. I have my head is kind of like like those little dogs that you used to sit and put on the back of the car, and they're doing this with their heads and they're wobbling all over. I have no
Mhm.
idea, but
Mhm.
it's been intense. It's been incredible. It's been awe-inspiring, and it's also nerve-wracking all at the same time.
I hear ya.
Uh, So yeah. And again, and Janice, I also want to pick up on what you said, with small businesses, and I'm sure a lot of people who watch our videos are running their own businesses, either as solopreneurs or small business owners or whatever it is. The demands on a small business owner to be all and do everything yourself is just, it's incredibly stressful, difficult.
Mhm.
Um, there's certain things that we're good at, certain things that we're not good at, certain things that we want to push under the rug because we just don't know how to do them. And yet, I think for me as a small business owner, AI has been so liberating. I have learned
Mhm.
so much, particularly around things like financing and costings. It's taken me through an entire journey of how to price properly, which no accountant ever taught me, ever. And so the added assist that it gives a small business owner is just incredible. It helps us to scale ourselves, let alone scaling the business. We're scaling within
Yeah.
ourselves and becoming so much more competent around so many different things. So yeah, and we know that people have got varied ideas and beliefs and fixed beliefs about the merits of AI. All I can say as a small business owner, it has been incredibly liberating. Think I've done, and I'm sure you guys agree, that I have done more in the last 6 months that would take me 5 years to do if I was doing it on my own.
Well, and I think a big piece of it too is like, and I'm sure we've had part of this conversation before, is that because it is intuitive, it's making sure that you're being put into it, not just like, throwing something in there, a prompt, and then allowing it to pop it out. But it's like you take that information and you're like, that's not right. And you play with it and you and
Yep.
pirouette all around it. Like just let it kind of land until it becomes your voice. And I know for
Yep.
myself, like I put something in there yesterday and it was like, that's not right. And I literally was like, no, I want it to say this, and no, I want it to say this. And then you're using your own language. It's just kind of like taking it and
Mhm.
ironing it out for me is what I feel like it does for me. And actually, it's interesting. I had somebody comment on me on my something I sent her earlier today, and she even made a comment. She's like, "Who's doing your marketing now?" And I was like, "Oh, it's still me." And but that's the
Uh-huh.
thing is like allowing it to support me, like you said, as a small business owner, allowing it to support me, but in making sure it's truly taking my
Yep.
voice
Yep.
and also the difference between like a free opportunity with AI and a paid one. I find that you get a little more obviously with intuitively with a paid platform. But anyway, it's just fun to play with. And it's totally about
Yeah.
living allowing you. I love what you said there about scaling you.
Mhm. There's
So
gonna be so many more small businesses that are being given opportunities that big
Yes.
corporate or big businesses only had before. And now it's kind of almost like evening out the playing field so that they can have a voice. And I think like there's so many positives that we can see in AI. And I understand the fears also that people have and
Mhm.
the legitimate concerns about using it ethically and there's a lot of people in the world that won't do that. And
Mhm.
so I think that's with anything though. And when
Mhm.
we started, I mean gosh, when Elvis came out, rock and roll was evil, right?
Right.
And then when the internet came out, it was wrong and evil and it was going to destroy our world. And I think we have to recognize that AI is here. And so
Mhm.
what we need to do is to continue to be using it in a positive way. It's not about manipulating other people. I
Mm.
truly believe it's going to help us if we use it the right way, it's going to help us evolve in our consciousness.
Agree.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's the way
Absolutely.
I am using it,
Yeah.
and that's my intent for it. So I feel very good about it. I feel very positive. I do recognize when I get too caught up in it and I have to pull back and go, wait a minute, no, I need to come back to me
Yes.
Yeah.
because there's a whole different frequency in it, like, you can feel
Mhm.
that frequency, and so, making sure that all of my content still has me in it
Yeah.
is you can't just go blindly go, "Okay, here," like, I'm not writing my book with it. Like,
No.
my book is my voice. It can help me organize my thoughts, but it's not I don't agree with the writing the books. with AI. I
Mhm,
feel like that takes away from the artistry of the writers and authors out there.
mhm.
It's the same
You
as,
know,
you know
Same as the art. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
the art.
what
Yeah.
what I find for me, and the more I engage with it, is it's a participation. There's an
Yeah.
and it's not about giving away my agency or my
Mhm.
sense of sovereignty at all, but there's an absolute partnering in making sure that it does resonate with my voice and pushing back when it doesn't. Going,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
you just said, Alana, no, that's not right. Doesn't work. That's not happening.
Yeah.
Um, and so it also is more expedient. It speeds up so much. I mean, as I say, this what I did in this week would probably have taken me 6 months in 3 or 4 days.
Right?
Um, and so why not? Why not
Mm.
be more effective? Why not be more efficient?
I see
Uh,
it as my personal assistant
yeah.
that doesn't need to eat or sleep or get paid and doesn't ask for a
Yep.
raise and doesn't complain when I say do it again. But it is just like a personal assistant. And if you see it that way, if you view it
Yeah.
that way, you're not giving your personal assistant overall complete control of your business. You're not giving your personal assistant any information that is personal, right? Like you would keep that little bit of distance, but you need to train it too, right?
Yeah. And it's
And the
allowing it
thing,
to support you, I think is
Yeah.
more than anything, right? Is it just allowing it to be, like you said, that support piece? 100%. And again, is it taking away jobs? I would be sitting here struggling for 4 hours to figure it out on my own anyway. Because like you said, well, I'm not, as a small business owner, may not be in the place where we can hire a virtual assistant or somebody else. But it gives us the space and capacity to be able to manipulate it in a way that it's not manipulated, but like utilize it in a way that speaks our voice, and allows it to come through in a like I said, it was for me, it's more like ironing it out and smoothing it out and checking those creases and then double checking a few things to make sure I'm on the right path, right? And anyway,
Yeah.
and then it gives me time back in order to
yeah,
focus on what I'm really good at.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the other
Yes.
thing, is that I mean, that freedom in being able to be, in terms of what is in my wheelhouse is so, so liberating, and that's the other
Mhm,
thing that I'm finding. The more I engage with it, and this is the thing as well, particularly for women who are watching, the more women who are engaging, the more we're influencing the macro languaging of the AI tools. So it's no wonder that it's starting to become more intuitive, because there's so many more women who are embodying into it their own intuition. Um, and that's exciting.
I love this conversation. If we want to direct things this way, this whole like women energy, feminine energy of divine, like sacred feminine that's coming through right now. Ooh, I'm feeling that in a way big way. So I'd love to chat about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Before we go there, just to
Mhm.
let you guys all know, we've just gone into Gemini energy yesterday. And Gemini energy is air and communication. So whatever you're wanting to put out there, whatever you're wanting to create and put out into the world with communication that you've looked at during either April or May, it's a good time to start putting it out into the world during June
Yes,
and
big
during
shifts
Gemini
today,
season.
right? Like
Yeah.
we are facing forward now, looking at, okay, no more worrying about the shedding. I mean, there's always that going on, but we were so focused on what we're releasing and shedding. And now we need to face forward towards the light. What are we creating and be in that vision, focusing on it. I love this. It's like the birth canal. We are in the birthing process. Well, actually, this is it.
Yeah,
Today,
Well,
we
this
that's
go
is
with the
it.
flow.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
we're
what
done.
I'm feeling. Like for the last few weeks, I know I haven't been here in a couple weeks. There's been a couple things going on. Either I had family things last week, and then before there was another event that I was participating in. So really amazing things. But through all of that, there's been 100% for me has been a birthing process of this next level of me. And even like, again, that was also supported through chat. And there were some things that I was like, what's going on here? And not again asking it to provide it for me, but playing with it to allow the creativity and I helping me see the reflection of myself and owning some of that. So it's been really amazing to see the evolution of even just in the last month where I've come from of like, I, at this point, I truly know exactly what I'm here for and who I'm here for and what I'm doing. And the clarity that has evolved from even like 3 months ago to now is totally different. And I think that's why when somebody mentioned my marketing's gotten different, it's because I'm showing up fully as who I always thought. But again, there's this version of us that we feel like we're not quite there yet, or we haven't figured it all out just yet. And I don't think I was truly owning it. So that I'm
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
feeling that like
Yeah.
rebirth, like release and like, okay, here's the world. Shine my damn light. Let's go.
Yeah, the
So,
doubt is
uh,
receding. We're getting into that knowing and that
Mhm.
certainty within us that, yeah, okay, I am supposed to do this. It's not a question anymore. It's
Yeah.
like, yes, this is who I am. This is what I'm bringing through. I feel this strongly. So let's just go. No more doubts, no more worries, no more fears pulling us back going, am I being too loud? Do they love me or
Mhm.
not? Right. It's like,
so
no,
yeah.
let me just shout it from the rooftops.
Yes.
This is so good. You all need to be doing this.
So rolling this back a little bit, just so that people can see what the process and the energies have been. This is exactly what the Taurian energies were there for. Was
Mm.
for us to steward ourselves into the world,
Yeah.
as
Yes.
opposed to what are we yes, there's the component of what are we stewarding, but it's us stewarding ourselves in our authenticity into the world. And that was what the Taurus energies brought in. And now, Gemini, let's shout it off the rooftops. Let's put it into the air and let the air carry it out into the world. So yeah, it's
Wow. As you
right
say
on
that, I get
point.
chills. I'm like,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
Right on point. And then just the heads up very quickly, nurturing is the energy that comes into Cancer. So we're not there yet. Just shout it out the on the rooftops, and then we nurture ourselves through the next phase. So that's going to be quite interesting. Can you believe that not only are we nearly through the first quarter of the zodiac calendar, we're almost ready. We're going into the 6th month of the year in a week's
yeah,
time. It's crazy. It
I
is
know.
crazy.
I did the math the other 2 days ago. I was like, oh, we've almost only got 6 months left. Like, we're almost there. Like, this time flies, and it's allowing it to be supportive. Again, support is another thing that keeps coming through.
Allowing yourself to be supported. Yeah. That's
Yep.
come up a
Yep.
lot in my groups too, you know. Just stop
Because
trying to do it on your own. The lone wolf
Mhm.
is over. Let's be supporting
Yes.
each other. I really feel that energy quite strongly coming through of
Yeah.
collaboration. Like we've been talking about it, and there's those of us that have been doing it, but it just feels like it's landed now. This collaboration, this like, oh my gosh, we are all helping create a more beautiful world. We are all doing this together, and we need to share and, allow our circles to come together, right? Like the
Mhm.
beautiful, flower of life and ripple out and there's the releasing of the competition.
Yes.
There's no space for it because it doesn't because we're all finding our own space and recognizing there's more than enough room for all of us,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think a big thing too, and especially for people who are starting out, is that I remember when I first started out, it was kind of like the whole world needed to respond. No, absolutely not.
No.
If we take the number of people on the planet, how many billions there are, if you go 0.0001%, it's more than
I
enough
do
people.
that.
Yeah, it's
I
more
do
than
that
enough.
in my program. Yes, I tell them to look at your state or your province and take the population and then narrow that down to just your city or your town or whatever. And it's like, oh my gosh, like I can't take 500 clients.
No.
I in a group maybe, but not one on one, right? Like so, yeah. There's more than enough room for everyone.
Yeah, so
I love
much
This
that.
so.
Yeah, and this is exactly what's come through for me. It's like, the message that I'm here to share more than anything that I'm ready to shout off the rooftops is I'm here to help women, spiritually driven women who are leaders, to be able to share their truth more honestly and more openly. Because the knowing that's within me is that we are here collectively as women, as this sacred feminine that's rising, is not to be in competition. Exactly that. We're here to help elevate each other, but it's also around we've gone through life, and this was a conversation. I actually did an event on the weekend, and spoke about this, is that and not in the female rights, but in the idea of the feminine has been confined so much over the years, and we've been told what we should do, need to do, what we have to do, all of these things, and we've taken on all this responsibility, all this limitation. And it's like, no, we're meant to expand and grow. And it's like taking all of those pieces and bringing all of it together as our own strength, and as
Yeah.
it being the evolution of who you truly are in the highest form of yourself. And so I'm running an event next week called Invisible to oh, now I can't remember the name. Um oh my gosh. Word left my brain.
I do that all the time.
Uh,
Back. It'll come back.
It'll
Um,
come back. I'll find it. It's written.
I first encountered working with the feminine energy in about 2005. I was on a pilgrimage, and one of the messages that came through during that pilgrimage was the fact that the feminine was awakening,
Mhm.
and that part of our purpose is to assist in the awakening of the divine feminine.
Yes.
And it's not gender, and this is the thing: is
No.
people think it's gender. It's got nothing to do with gender. It's got everything to do with energy and frequency, and the nurturing, and the gentleness, and all of the compassion, the healing, all of those energies that come through the divine feminine. And then of course you get the Kali energy, Kali the destroyer, who
Mhm.
will be destroying very much again the fire energy of destroying what is not needed. And so it's been an incredible journey since 2005. I mean, we what, 20 years? My own evolving through it, as well as being able to see how this beautiful energy is actually rising, and also seeing how the pendulum swung completely, in reclaiming our divine feminine. The pendulum also swung completely out, where women started to become very much more masculine instead of embracing the femininity. Yeah.
Exactly.
And now that pendulum's starting to come back into balance, which is just beautiful to see. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's I was thinking about it this morning. My daughter, as you know, is having a baby soon, and I was kind of watching my son-in-law and how his whole perception of women is changing, as because he's very engaged as well. But how his whole perception of women is changing based on watching his wife go through pregnancy.
Mm.
Thank God he's so engaged, and it's not that cloying over. He's just complete. He said to us on Mother's Day, he said he cannot believe. He says the amount of respect that he has for women in understanding not only the fact that they carry children, but also in how they are the nurturers of children. He was with a group of his own friends. Alex had stayed at home, and they were there with their kids, and he was watching how the children gravitate to the mother, not to the father,
Yeah.
and how it's like there's never an off switch for women, is what he was saying. He says his whole view of women and femininity has completely shifted as he's going through his own
Oh, it's
process of
so good.
becoming a dad, which is so
Beautiful.
special, so special.
I want to go back to what you said about how, it's been like about 20 years. And I was thinking about this morning. The movie Legally Blonde with Reese Witherspoon, and how
Yeah,
that was introducing the whole concept of femininity in the corporate world, that it would work.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
was so beyond how we were thinking back then, right? And
yeah.
what was her name in that? Not Mel? No, I can't remember what her
Don't
name
remember.
was.
I don't
But
know. Did you
I'm
see the
like,
new sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just thinking this morning, I was out walking and I was just thinking, I should watch that again. Just watch that again for as a
Yeah.
whole different perspective now, because that was back around 2005, right? And it's, I wonder, yeah, that's pretty cool.
There's Alana.
I was just gonna say, actually, now it's funny you say that, because I saw a commercial for it, and I can't tell you the name. I'll look it up as we're sitting here talking, and I'm sure I'll track it down, but I don't even remember seeing the name. But there's actually a commercial for, I think it's a Netflix movie that's coming out, that's literally flipping the world on its head, of like literally what if it was reversed? Females were in the male role and vice versa. And literally the whole movie is, the context is they're taking the men and like womanizing the man.
Oh my
And
gosh, that is just like the famous 5, that did that in the government to bring women's rights into Canada, right?
mhm.
Um, yeah, that's what they did.
And
They did a little skit where the women were all in charge, and they showed the men the other side of it. So that's pretty cool.
Ladies First is what it's called. You gotta look it up.
Okay, I gotta watch
yeah,
that. Is it
Yeah, it
out?
just got it's doesn't I don't think it's out yet. It's getting release date was May 22nd. So today, tomorrow?
so
And that may be just in the US,
Today?
I'm not sure, but, it's literally that's like, it's women in corporate, like, leading as if they were the energy, and the man are, like, literally they're womanizing, like, total role reversal. I'm so excited to see
Be
it.
interesting to see
so
if they are leading it through a masculine energy or feminine energy. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it'll
gonna
be
watch that.
interesting. Yeah.
there's a series, I don't know if you guys have watched it, called The Bold Type,
Oh, the
about
Voltaire? The
the
Voltaire?
bold, the bold type.
Oh, no, I
Oh,
don't know that one.
Got a magazine in New York City, and the representation of women in that movie is just incredible. You have the editor of the magazine who is just unbelievably in her own agency and power. It's incredible to watch her. And then you have three younger women, one who has she has sexuality issues. She's also an African American, and she with a white but kind of like a white. Her parents are one white, one African. I can't remember which. Oh, her mother was white and her father was African American, and so she has the mixed race energies. She's also got sexuality issues. So she's navigating all of that. And then you see these young women as they start representing some of the issues that that generation is dealing with. The dynamic between these four women is absolutely incredible. I mean, it runs over about 4 years, but it's just incredible. I mean, I just watch with my jaw hanging out as to how amazing this younger generation of women are coming through. And
Yeah,
just watching this editor and the way that they portrayed her role in being so sovereign in such a a male heavy environment was incredible, absolutely incredible. So if anybody's wanting to really get in touch with the modern woman in not only the workplace, but just her character spoke to me so much about being the older, wiser mentor who was sovereign. Was
hmm,
very powerful, very
the
very powerful.
bold type.
Yeah,
BOLD and then
wow,
TYPE?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right, I wrote it down. We always need a few more. Ah,
Oh, ladies first. I'm also looking forward to watching as well.
yeah, it's like basically the matriarchy in charge and women in power, so I'm excited to see what that looks like.
yeah, something you can do, which is really cool, ask ask ChatGPT, what movies or books you should read in order to take you to your next level. Like, you know,
That would be
y
Yeah.
interesting.
yeah, it's been really cool. And the other one, after, like, as I had said, creating your putting yourself into the program, like, into the AI, you could say, "What" how did I word that? What is it that I am not seeing in
Oh,
my
yeah, I've
growth
asked
or
that one
in my work?
before.
Yeah, and it's very revealing. It's very helpful. Yeah.
Well, and like you said, it's like one of the things I've did with it when I was going through this over the last few weeks, this unfolding of myself, and it was, literally that. It's like, as I step into this next level of myself and I identify what that looks like, feels like for me,
Mhm.
what do I do reflect like, how does that reflect that in my offers and what I do and how I speak? And when it reflected it back, it's like literally I was wanting to create something. So there is a new program or container I'm launching in the 1st of June. And like I said, the event I'm hosting is invisible to unignorable. It's that word for some reason. I couldn't quite, but it was like literally the ownership and the like acceptance of who we are truly meant to be. And as spiritual entrepreneurs or even women entrepreneurs, we tend to, again, because of old identities, there's still some things that most of us are still feeling like we're holding back something and can't figure out exactly what that is. And
Oh my gosh.
in my opinion, it's this like, okay, there's pieces of ourselves we've left in these roles. And so if we can integrate all those pieces together, we come back together as the most wholest version of ourselves. And then we find our furthest, most expressive. It's called fully expressed. So I'm super excited for this and what it's come through. And it's literally like I said, when I was putting it together, allowing ChatGPT to support me in the idea and but knowing exactly where I was going, but just creating the nuances in it. And it feels so freaking exciting. And again, I'm ready to yell it from the rooftops because I know those of us that are meant to step up and lead in this space right now are needed now more than ever. We have so many people and women in this world that are, and again, not just in the feminine gender, but women that we're meant to bring in leadership right now in order to make change. Because if we don't, then the divine masculine won't step up to be the protector. And so we need to show up in a way that's been different than we've ever shown up before. And that's what
Yep.
I
this
love it.
bring it in.
Yep.
That is
That's what I'm owning right
that's
now.
so cool. We are so in sync, Alana,
Yeah,
because I'm launching a program too right now that starts May 31st, and it is Live Like an Artist, a 21-day identity recoding challenge to 10x your life or business. So it's like identity. It's all about
it is
okay.
identity, yeah.
And I was thinking as we were growing up, we didn't have the support and the coaching or the training around us to help us keep increasing, keep expanding our own self-concept. And so we're continuing to try and create our life in our old self-concept
Exactly.
and who we
Yep.
used to be. And that's not who we are anymore. And now from this point, let me just project forward and find the self-concept that I desire to be,
Yeah.
to know, and start creating from that rather
Yep.
than the old.
Mhm.
So identity is a huge thing right now.
Huge.
So
The
much.
other thing the other thing that came up for me last week as I was unpacking, kind of bring the cycle closed for me on the weekend. But just before I got there, one of the things that surfaced for me, and I think that this is also very common to many, many women, is that I was kind of looking around and going, I don't know what's sitting and what is underneath this.
Mhm.
I'd been going my inner child and I'd had a tantrum of note. I was actually went into the her terror of not knowing, going through that, releasing the terror that she was holding about not knowing what the heck's going next. And then, of course, all of this stuff revealed itself this week. But the thing that came up for me more than anything else, I went from terror to shame, which is the collective shame of the feminine.
Yeah.
And from underneath that, what came out was, where's the reassurance?
Yeah.
And that was the thing that was sitting underneath it for me because, um, and again, I'm just prefacing this. There's no pity party going on here. There's just this. This is the reality. I am on my own. I have been on my own for very many years. So I don't have a partner. My children are grown. My daughter and her husband are quite insular in the way that they live and compartmentalized, and that's okay. They're on their path. They're doing their thing. My son lives in America for 2.5 years and then comes home for 6 months. And those that's kinda like my nucleus. My sister and I, we don't speak to each other, haven't done for a while, and that's the nucleus, and I'm going, "There's no reassurance in that nucleus of what I had," and all of a sudden, my inner child went, "That's what I'm looking for." That
Yeah.
sense of reassurance that I am not only in my truth, that I'm worthy in my truth, and that as I manifest out into the world, that worthiness actually is then it's not about giving away, looking for external validation. It's just
Mm-mm.
that, and this is also what women do for each other when we're in our truth,
Mhm.
is that we do provide that reassurance for one another. We do.
Reassurance and permission. Yeah.
Huge,
Yeah.
huge. And that was the golden nugget that came out for me. And then as I worked with that on the weekend, um, the beautiful divine mother energy came through, and there was the reassurance.
Mm.
Mm. I love that you say this, and this is exactly like I said, in order for us to get to this next level, there is a transformation that we need to go through, and that's literally what came through for me yesterday. And the solidity of like, as I'm bringing this stuff in, it's like, oh, there's some ownership of what I'm going through in it. So what came through for me is very similar of I was seeking outside of me certainty, safety, and resolution. And it's like, when things aren't resolved and it's like I'm leaving this open loop in my head from what's going on. And it's like I'm creating the story behind it by leaving the open loop. And it's literally like those words of like needing certainty, resolution, and safety from something outside of me. And that's what came through for me yesterday too. So that's so interesting of that same reassurance. It's like, but it's we need to create it within us was what came through is like I needed to see that in order to create it within me. And now it's like, oh, I already have the tools for that. And I didn't that was the awareness I needed in order to keep it moving forward.
And
I love
the
this too.
yeah,
Can I just say
but
that the whole uh idea of like, okay, I want to be in that circle. I want to have
mhm,
those friends. And where I used to think, oh, they're going to tell you what you want to hear because you're paying them. You're in a paid
Mhm.
circle. That's all dissolving away. And it's very much like, no, 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 no. I just want to be in that energy. And I want to be reminded all the time of what our potential is. And um, so if anyone out there is like resistant to joining a program or a circle or a mastermind because they're like, "Oh, it's all about money." It's not. It's almost like, your membership to those golf clubs, right? Like you get
Mhm.
your membership to the country club. It's not about being, oh, I'm one of those girls or women or in the elite. It's about, no, I'm putting myself into the circle of people who have this desire to grow,
Yeah.
to continue to raise their consciousness, to continue to expand in the world and help make the world a better place. I talk a lot about frequencies, but just think about it as when you put yourself into the circle of people that are positive, that are forward thinkers that are expanding, you begin to resonate with them and it helps you stay in that frequency, in that whole, positive energy. So it's not about, becoming someone different. It's helping you remember that is your truth. Because if you think about
yeah,
it as, you know what, when I hang around with them, I feel really good. It feels really good. And I feel hopeful and I feel more positive as opposed to when I'm by myself, I start to like sink down and get depressed. Well, the truth feels good. Truth feels good. So keep going in that direction. What feels good for you? What do you need? Because eventually you'll be the one creating a circle for other women to be there. It's not about you like hanging on to their energy and trying to be someone you're not. You will eventually rise up into that frequency and stay there. And then you become that energy for another group of women that are also reaching that. So I love that whole idea of support and assurance from people in your circles and that we absolutely need these women's circles and these masterminds to continue to grow and
and
be there for all of us.
and what was interesting, adding to what you're saying, Janice, is that when I sat with the energy of reassurance, it wasn't about reassuring me of who I am,
Mhm.
the
Yes.
reassurance of the path that we're on, because we're pioneering.
Yeah.
And that was where the uncertainty was coming from. It wasn't coming from who I am. It was coming from the fact that we're in such uncharted territory and uncharted waters, which is the other another added assist as to why I want to be in those circles, why I want to play in that garden and not in that one behind me. Okay, that one's done.
Yes.
Um,
Mhm.
and so it that kind of reassurance for me gives me the impetus to keep going.
Mhm.
Because
Oh,
sometimes this can be
100%.
really, really it can be very tough and it can be very lonely too. And I think many of us have come from that space where it has
Yeah.
been. And so that sense of on the right track, we're doing the right and it's not about right or wrong.
Mm-mm.
That's that's a 3D energy. It's around the confirmation and the affirmation that the unfolding is happening as it should. It's a very different way of
Yes.
it's and it's more 5D in terms of the way in which we're engaging as opposed to where we've come from. And so that was the thing that emerged for me about reassurance is that it's yeah, we're okay. We're actually
Mhm.
even these sessions that when we come together once a week, that level of reassurance that we get, certainly that I walk away with and that we get from one another is I can do this for another week. I can
Yeah.
absolutely I can absolutely do this for another week.
I want to tie what you said earlier too, Janice, around the lone wolf. Like you said, those of us that are pioneering, those of us that are leading the way right now, that like you said earlier, that energy is shifting. And that was one of the things that came through for me lately. It was like we've accepted and been okay with being the lone wolf, but that energy needs to shift.
Mhm.
That's why the collective is feeling more community and collective and collaboration is that we need to come together because the lone wolf is an old story too. It doesn't need to be that way anymore. There's enough of us here that are leading the way that there doesn't need to be you don't need to be alone. You could be surrounded by amazing people that light you up and lift you up so that there isn't there doesn't need to be as much struggle. It's like, when those pioneering, like you said, Angela, like when the pioneering days happened, those that came next, it was so much easier
Yes.
because
Mhm.
the path was already there and follow the people that
Yeah.
are already leading the path. But what I want to say, even to the competition around that, is like, there is literally, and this is what comes through to me all the time, is like there is literally, again, going back to the numbers you were mentioning earlier, Janice, around there's no way there's competition, but there's also people that are waiting that won't have an awakening or won't have a shift or won't have the awarenesses that they need until those that are still feeling the pull and haven't stepped into it yet voice their voice. Like,
Yes.
put their voice out there. And that's why for me, it's like, no, more of us need to step up and be in this space because we see the evidence of chaos, anger, frustration, hurt, um, worry, concern, all of this lower vibration energy in the world. And not that there can't be both, or not that it needs to be all light and fairies and rainbows and stuff like that, but we are being called to change collectively. And we've been talking about it since we got together a year ago, and I'm so excited for where we're going because this is exactly where we need to be in order to create the next ripple of what's happening next. But don't feel if you're listening that, oh, well, I'm not there yet. You don't need to
Yeah.
worry about it. You're meant to step into it too. There's
Yeah.
all kinds of room here.
I always
And it's
say, instead of being the lone wolf, what we do is we run with the wolves
Yeah, the
because
pack.
wolves are, societal, they're communal, and you won't lose your individuality just because you're in with the group of wolves running with them, and it's just more fun, it's playful, it's like we're gonna get further when we go together.
Yes.
Yeah.
so so something that also to highlight this from a slightly different angle, which was so
Mhm.
exciting. Well, if you look at the tarot and you take the Hermit card and you take the Star
Mhm.
card. And in the Hermit card, the star is actually sitting in the lamp that the Hermit is carrying in the typical tarot deck.
Right?
And the purpose of the star card is not the woman who's pouring water into the lake. It's the five stars that sit above her head that
Mhm.
are more significant than herself. And so this is exactly what you're saying as well, is that we're moving from that hermiting phase into allowing those stars to access their own potential and to move into the world in terms of what they have to offer, that only they can offer. And again,
Yes.
that's not a competitive thing. It's that unique aspect of who they are that they offer in service to others.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
so we're moving from again that lone wolf into the catalyst role, into the
Yes.
alchemical role. And that's what's so exciting.
And I
And
love
So
that
giving
you mentioned
permission.
that the star card that it is to me, I've always interpreted it as like going back to remembering your roots, your beginnings, your who you are at your soul level. And that's part of that is that collective remembering of like, hey, well, there's no competition here. There's none of that is all that's all illusion. Let's come back to the truth here and remember who we are.
Mhm.
competition comes from scarcity, that there's not enough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
And
I
even,
think
I
that's
mean,
the biggest.
schooling, yeah. So
Go ahead.
our schooling systems are still It's still around the jocks and around the academics and then everybody else. The system of reward and recognition is still built up around that level of, I don't know that it's elitism, but certainly favoritism.
Mhm.
And yet everybody, my father was very great on this. Everybody has and in fact, a colleague of mine, also one of my mentors at one point, used to say that everybody has their place in the sun. Absolutely.
100%.
Everybody.
Yes.
Uh, and we get to do this work in helping people recognize their place in the sun, which is
And
just
that's
mind blowing.
literally it. It's about being that, like you said, this, oh, there was a word you used around the stars. Um, but being the representative, that it's open to everyone, but it is literally us by doing it and leading the way is allowing permission, not like we're allowing permission. Cause I know I've seen that too with the ego side of things of like, oh, well, that person's owning that space. And no, 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 no.
Mm,
Every one of us is allowed to be here. And it's more like I'm here to, or we're here collectively to invite you in, to give you permission to think that this is possible for you too. So it's not about, somebody owning or giving, like, I'm allowing you in. It's just, no, by
yeah.
us doing what we're doing, it's like, because you can do it too.
Yes. You claim your space. You belong because you decide you belong, not because anyone else is going to make you feel like you belong. And the other thing I wanted to say before, because we're getting close to the end
Yeah.
here, is that when I place myself in those circles, in those masterminds, in those groups, it's like when I pick and choose, it's not like I choose one and that's where I am. It's like I want that one and that one.
Yep, I've been
It's
too.
like
Agree.
there's no like I
Oh,
have to choose. It's
yeah.
like and I get to do them all and be in all the different circles, and I love it. It's exciting and it's fun. Yeah.
Because
Like
abundance is
in a can
everywhere for
Yeah.
everybody.
like
Yeah.
like a kid in a candy store. I want a little bit of that and a little bit of that and a little.
Yes.
You can't
Please.
make choose only one. No.
You know, no more
Yeah,
ors. It's and.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Oh, this has been so great, you guys. Thank you.
I
Kitty.
appreciate being back in the circle, and I missed you guys in this beautiful energy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm. Wow.
So I'm sure we're going to be putting our heads together over the next couple of days to see what we can do to celebrate our first year together.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, yes, yes.
we can do something special.
Mhm.
And to all of those who have subscribed to our channel and all of those who watch, you make it possible for us to do the work that we do.
Yeah. Thank you so
So thank
much.
you
Absolutely.
for sharing your consciousness with us. Even if we may not see you, we still feel you.
Mhm. So thank you everyone for joining us here today. This has been such a beautiful energy and beautiful conversation, as it always is. As the circle closes for now, the light remains not just here, but within you. And that's exactly what we're saying. Let these teachings or thoughts echo through your being like a lighthouse calls over the sea, steady, unwavering, and sovereign. Share and tell us what touched your soul. Subscribe if you feel the call. We'd love for you to share it with anyone that you feel might feel it as well. And remember, you are the light, you are the way, and the circle will be here when you return.
Blessings in abundance to everybody. Bye. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.